Try to give him a quick mix. I want you to say stop again for me whenever you like.
Stop.
Happy there?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you could have had any one of these cards, but you stopped me right here. So take that card, don't let me see it. Now, I have a prediction on me that I brought with me today, so we're going to see what happens. You can show it to the camera if you want, that way.
What's the crack? You're watching the Labtv, and we're here with
David Peace.
and he is a magician.
Yep.
Am I right?
Yes, you're right.
Yay! All right, that's good. So, okay, all right. What you want to tell us that you have a show coming up? So, can you let people know when the show is and where it is?
Yeah, the show's on March 3rd in the Spalpeen Fánacht at 8 o'clock, so you can get the tickets on magiciancork.ie.
Is that like a little circle that you have going on? Is that in the whole country as well?
Yeah, so there's a community of magicians in Ireland, so there's different societies around. So there's in Cork and Kerry we have our own club, and then there's another one in Dublin, Limerick in Northern Ireland. And then just from like looking around, you get to meet other magicians, and we're all kind of weird, so it's good to be able to like meet up with each other and talk about like how dexterous you can get your fingers and stuff like that, because other people just don't care.
That's class, yeah. To be your natural self with other people who are being their natural selves too.
Yeah, and you can actually talk about secrets, which is great, because otherwise you're like, it's like, oh, I found this really cool thing I can't tell anybody about.
No.
They don't even notice that I'm doing it.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than holding on to a secret you can't share with. I'd imagine anyway.
Yeah, it can be a bit, and sometimes it's like the secret's better than the trick to me sometimes. So it's like, they're like, oh, that was pretty good. And I'm like, oh, if they only knew what I did.
How does it feel as well then to be a man on stage holding a load of secrets and not revealing it to the audience? Does that give you a sense of power?
A bit. It's nice to be able to like stand up. Like for a living, I get to stand in front of a group of people and lie to them, and they applaud me for it. Like it's like the opposite of a politician, really. It's like they get booed, I get applauded, so it's pretty nice.
Well, the difference is though yours is entertaining and class.
Yeah, that's true. Mostly, hopefully, anyway.
So I want to ask as well, how did you get into magic, and when did you first start? When did you realise, oh, this is what I want to do?
Yeah, so when I was younger, I used to get like magic sets and books and stuff, and my dad always used to do a couple like party tricks and things like that around. And then when I was in transition year, I became an apprentice to another magician in Cork. So he used to come over to my house once a week and for about an hour and just like go over tricks and give me challenges. And I was like incredibly shy at the time as well. So one thing he used to set me was like I had to go out and perform for a complete stranger, and that used to like terrify me. And now that's like a Saturday night. So.
That is class. That's such a cool journey. I mean, I grew up in a small town being a rapper, right? And I was the only one. And I thought at one stage I was the only rapper that existed in the country. Yeah. So what you're saying sounds class. I would have loved if someone came along and said, "Do you want to be my apprentice rapper?" I'd be like, yeah, definitely. And then he'd be giving me challenges of, right, you have to go and spit a verse now to random people. Yeah. That'd be class.
It pushes you as well, because otherwise you could just be like sitting down and like he was someone that was able to like help me get my first gigs and things like that. So then I did my first gig at 15 then shortly after starting with him, and it just like pushes you to get better.
Where was your first gig?
It was at a company's Christmas party. So I was doing balloon animals as well at the time. So he taught me how to make balloon animals too. So I was doing balloon animals and then bits of magic, just to try and like get the feet in. And then I've stopped doing balloon animals since, except for when my younger cousins got around.
That's a handy tool to have, I'd imagine. So what is your personal favourite kind of magic to perform?
I like mind reading on stage. I just think like topless as well, because I don't do stuff with big boxes or like dancing around on stage with techno music on. It's like just not my style. I like just being on stage with as little as possible, so it's not like people think that I'm using anything. Yeah. Just me on stage is where I like being able to pick up on what people are thinking of. Or then in close up, I love card magic. Close up.
I love close up as well. It's so nice to see, and it's like, whoa. I mean, I experienced a close up magician once, and I was like, what is going on? Because from my personal perspective, I have a logical mind, and if the logical mind can't figure out what's going on, you're like, oh, you're just blown away. Yeah,
it's interesting that like with a lot of tricks, I could go to like a professor and he'd be like, no idea how I do it, and then do the same trick for a 5-year-old, and they're like, well, it's in your other hand, and you're like, shh.
Oh no! God damn it!
Be quiet.
Say nothing. Say nothing to nobody.
It's like, because a lot of time what you're doing is people make assumptions that like if I have a coin in this hand and do this, they assume the coin goes into the other hand. But kids haven't lived long enough to make the assumption that the coin would go into the other hand, so they don't get confused by things like that.
I see.
So then, like some people who are like really good kids magicians, I'm like, I don't know how you do it.
So this to me sounds as though to be a magician, you have to be a good psychologist as well.
Yeah, like you've got to, especially when you go to like more of the mind stuff. Even just having like some psychological information that you can use to like in your presentation and things like to talk about that and to understand like how the brain works and how to misdirect it as well, and how things as well that everybody thinks they're different, and that's like the most common thing in the world is that everybody thinks they're special, and it's like a lot of things you can say to people are like universal. Even if you say to someone you have a scar on your right knee, 90% of people have a scar on their right knee because they fell off their bikes when they were a kid, and they just have a scar, and you're like, it sounds profound, it sounds amazing, but like you have a scar on your right knee, right?
It's a pattern.
Yeah.
So that's interesting, like, because I know myself from performing in the audiences, you start to notice people's patterns.
Yeah.
And from my own journey, I've seen it's gone from not understanding certain people to actually going, oh, this person fits into this pattern.
Yeah, so you can that can help, and then it's like starting off with just a pattern, just like get you an understanding of people, and then through that you can get into the more in depth stuff, and really start. A lot of times, like people like, how can you like read someone's mind if like they have a card and you're trying to figure out what it is, and if they're poker faced, you don't stand a chance because that sort of thing. But then you need to like do stuff with your hands, move around, confuse them a bit, and then stuff can leak out then through it because
Cool.
if it, as I was saying to someone before, is like when you're people are like, oh, you must be really good at cards, and number one, nobody will play cards with me, so I'm actually not that good because I just have no practice. But the other times you get into this that like I can't like hold someone's hand during a card game to try and pick up on stuff. I can't just look at them being like, do you have a full house? No, pair? No, they don't let you do that sort of stuff. So
I was going to ask, all right, did you ever play poker, and did you find it easier to read people?
for reading people, like, it comes in handy, but then as well, it's I can count cards too. So I did go to Vegas a few years back, and I sat down on the blackjack table just for a while as I was watching. But they shuffle every hand, so then you can't really count cards. It doesn't really
they make it impossible. I suppose.
so they know what they're doing, so it's very hard to actually be able to use them. But then I just went back to roulette and was like, red, black, red, black, red, black, broke even, time to go.
Oh, get out quick! I went through a phase of playing poker, all right, and I was just trying to figure people out, like.
Yeah.
And I found it at the start. I thought I was decent at it. And then I realised, oh, I'm actually not, because I'm blocked by my own bias and my own emotions and my own way of looking at it. And I realised I had to conquer myself first and figure myself out before I could figure out other people. So would there have been an element to that for yourself?
Yeah, there's things as well that you have to look at yourself, like, as I was saying, like, there are commonalities among people, but there are things that aren't common. So that you can look at yourself being like, oh, like, when I have a bad hand, I do this. And so you assume everybody does that, and then you end up losing all your money because nobody else does that. Yeah. And then if you're playing against good card people, they know all this stuff too, so they're going to be faking tells and stuff like that, which just makes it.
It's just layers and layers and layers and layers.
It's just people just sitting around the table lying to each other for money.
This is crazy, because then what I started to realise after a while as well is that like perception of life is everything.
Yeah.
And one person could say a sentence with 100 people listening, which means you're going to get 100 different perceptions. And in that confusion, you're like, which perception is the truth?
Yeah, because there's things as well as that, like, I can do 2 tricks in front of a group of people, and if I ask them a week later to describe it, they're telling me different things. It's like, I know a magician from America who he swallows needles and then he swallows thread, and then he pulls thread back out of his mouth with all the needles tied on. And then he also does a trick where he puts thread into his mouth and pulls it out of his eye. Then people come to him and going, oh, will you do that trick where you pull the needles with the thread out of your eye? Because in their head, they remember it as the same trick. Well, really, it's just 2 tricks that he happens to do. And he's like, oh, I don't do that anymore. He's like, I'm not putting needles in my eye.
I gave up on that one.
Yeah, the blindness kind of scared me, so I stopped doing that one. So that's happened to me as well a few times. So people are like, oh, will you do this trick? And I'm like, oh, if only I could do that trick. It'd be great.
Next time. I'll do it next time. So would you like to do a trick for us?
Yeah, cool. I have a Sharpie if you want to hold on to it.
Okay.
That's good. Now, I'm just going to riffle through the cards and you just say stop whenever you like.
Okay. Stop.
There? Oh, sorry. Let go. Go again.
Stop.
There?
Yeah.
Cool. What I want you to do is write your name nice and big across the card for me, the 3 of hearts. So write your name nice and big across it. See, it doesn't come off or anything like that. So we'll take your card here. You don't sign like lots of 3 of hearts or anything, do you? This card is like one of a kind.
Yeah.
Cool. So what I want you to do, it's going to sound weird, but just hold it between your teeth.
Okay.
So like that. You don't look stupid, you're fine. I'll take the next one, so we have the 10 of spades. Can I have the Sharpie back there,
can.
please? Thank you. So I'll write Dave on it, because that's my name.
Alright.
Recapped. Great. So I'm going to take this card here, so I'll just do the same thing. Fold it in half, and we'll fold it in half again. Like this. So take it. Just like that, hopefully. That looks familiar to you. Look.
Oh, no way. Oh my god. Oh, damn.
I'll wipe that off you and you can keep that.
That is class. That's going on my wall. That is nuts.
It's a fun trick to do.
Man, that is class. I just had that in my mouth. Like.
We basically just scored.
Woo! That is decent, but I don't know what to say or what to do. Oh man, that must give you so much pleasure to be able to do things like that.
Yeah, that's so much fun. It's like, that's a fun trick to do at like weddings and things like that for people, because it's just like, you can get a group of people and they're like, no, that's not going to happen. Because when the two cards go into my, people have an idea what's coming, but then they're like, nah. You're waiting for the move to happen and the move never comes, so it's great.
I didn't know what to expect there. It's like, that's class. Oh my god. Anyway, do you have another trick?
Yeah, I'll try something. Here we go. Make sure I have a full deck here actually. Try to just give them a quick mix. I want you to say stop again for me whenever you like.
Stop.
Happy there?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you could have had any one of these cards, but you stopped me right here. So take that card, don't let me see it. Now, I have a prediction on me that I brought with me today, so we're going to see what happens. You can show it to the camera if you want that. You good?
Yeah.
Cool. Now, I said I had a prediction on me, and the key word in that sentence is on, because I have a tattoo of one playing card. And I have it right here on my arm. So if you have a look here. This is the stripping portion of the show.
It's raunchy, bye.
If you look here.
Man.
Does that look familiar?
How did this happen? What is going on?
Free will is an illusion. So
look at this. I just got manipulated, lads. What is the crack? Oh man. How am I going to pull a smiley face out of your deck of cards there? So I can be like, hey, I made a prediction earlier on. Smiley face.
Well, if you ask them to draw something simple, maybe they draw a smiley face and you can be like, ha ha.
Look, see, I made it. And they're like, yeah, well, I could have drawn a love heart as well. Yeah, well.
Yeah, got that too.
Covered that one.
Just like, I want you to draw something small, something happy, baby. You know, something like that.
Circular with a smile. Yeah. Please do it.
Free choice, right?
Man, that's class. Thank you so much for coming and for entertaining us and leaving me in a sense of awe.
No problem.
I would really recommend everybody to go and check out the show. And if people want to find you online, where can they do so?
At David Peace Magic on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and magiciancork.ie.
And we'll put all the links up on the video as well.
That'd be perfect.
So check it out and promote local, because local is mint and you're all class. Do you have a message for the people before we say good luck?
Come to my show and live a magical life.
Oh, I like that.
Corny, I like it.
No, I like that, man. Live a magical life. So let's all live a magical life. You're all class. Thank you very much, everybody. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You're all decent, bye.